It's the 25th of June and we're going to take a look at what's going on here in the garden. Been about a month, so things are looking a bit different. We'll start off up here at the top. So in this bed we have bell peppers. Starting to get a couple of peppers forming up here. They're not very tall, but they'll get there. Behind those are some of the climbing tomatoes, cherry types. So a couple of different varieties in here. And as you know, I had a bit of a late start on the tomatoes, but they'll catch up fairly quickly. They're already doubled in height just in the past week, so they'll be fine. So they will. Next bed over, this is all of the hot peppers. They're all in one place. We had a storm came through late last night, early this morning, and knocked things down, so I've been sanding them back up. But these are all jalapenos. We're starting to get some flowers on there, and start getting a couple forming. I can see a couple started already on here. That'll be grand. This one, clearly I have to prop that one back up. Various kinds of Hungarian and habaneros and whatever you have. I also have interspaced here. These are some sunflowers that are they'll just shoot up fairly tall. They're mammoth variety. On the climbing frame, these are all pickling cucumbers, so they're starting to find their way. So they're a foot tall now, and they'll very quickly take off as they do. Same on this side. Not as tall as you can clearly see, but they should pick up fairly quickly as well. They were getting crowded out by all the lettuce that used to be in here. I just pulled all the lettuce a couple of days ago because it was getting hot, and so it's starting to turn bad. This is a attempt at a transplant of a cucumber, but let's see how that does. Oh, out came the sun. So this is where all of the lettuces and spinach was. So that's been pulled, and I have finally set. These would be the Roma tomatoes. So I have a bunch of those end stakes are ready to go for when they get taller. This red cabbage, I transplanted it out of another bed, and it seems to be alive, so I guess maybe we'll call that a success. A couple of spare tomatoes. Anyone want tomatoes? Down in this bed here, these would be the San Marzano tomatoes, so they're already starting to get fairly big. This guy needs to get propped up as well, because I didn't have it propped up. A couple of sunflowers in there as well, and some red cabbages. The difference in these are the ones that I grew from seeds, and all the rest are ones that I got from as spikes. So looks like I have some caterpillar damage going on down in there. Little buggers. So I'll be rooting them out too. I did put some diatomaceous out, but the rain last night washed all that off, so reapply. More spare tomatoes. Down in the triangle bed, this is all of the big bulbing onions, so they're doing fine. Couple of weeds in there. There's a row of parsnips, but they didn't germinate awfully well. What are you going to do? This is melons along the back. They'll go up the fence as well. And here's a zucchini. We've already been pulling a couple of zucchini off of this one. We've picked 3 so far, and it looks like I can see there's one back there as well. So that'll be ready in a couple of days. So I like to pick them when they're fairly small and sweet, and that's grand. Right, let's take a look at the more tomatoes. Let's take a look at the long beds. So up here we have red cabbages. More feckin' caterpillar damage. They'll get in there and just chew everything up. They like to hide right down where the head is forming, but I think I picked them all off earlier this morning. Easier to find them on the red cabbages. They tend to stick out a little bit more. But there's one right there. They lay right there along the stem, and keep an eye out for them. But goodbye. And he's gone. So, but they typically you'll only find like 1 or 2 on each plant. And then you just have to keep checking to see where the hell they are, because they'll hide, but they like to lie along the stem and mostly do their feeding during the night. So that's how they do, and they will ruin you. But yeah, you can see more damage in there. You could usually see some of their leavings in there. Bloody nuisance. Anyway, banana peppers doing grand back here, and back rows behind that is all more cherry tomatoes of various kinds, and they're climbing. I'm not sure how well these ones are going to climb, but we'll see. That one needs to be wrapped back up, so it got knocked down as well. But what we do, we just wrap it around the string, pick one direction and then stick with it, and then they'll be okay. So back here we have, these are more cucumbers. These are the slicer type, so like for sandwiches and things. I had 2 of them growing here, but I just trimmed them down to 1 yesterday or day before, because you can only really need 1 growing up the string. Garlic should be ready to come out fairly soon. The lower leaves are dying off, and usually that's your indicator. I cut all the scapes off 2 weeks ago, so ready to fry them up. But again, these all got knocked down in the wind too. Alright, back here, lots of cabbages. These are poblano peppers that are starting to form. Lots of those. And these are the beans, which it turns out, when I sowed them, it's a mix here of climbing beans and non-climbing varieties. And I haven't grown these varieties before, but they don't seem to climb as easily as the other ones I have. More caterpillar damage. Jesus, very annoying. Sometimes you wonder, why do you bother? The red cabbages make some good ground cover for keeping the soil insulated, but the price is caterpillars. There's another one. Look at that. Little fucker. Out you go. So you have to just keep an eye on the damn things. Yeah, I have to wonder if it's worth your bother. Kohlrabies starting to get nice and big. I don't let them get bigger than a baseball. That's big enough. And of course these suffer the ravages of caterpillars as well, because they're all brassicas. And but at least with these, you don't eat the leaves, so it's not as much of a nuisance. But still, it is a nuisance. That is just part of a tree. So that's the kohlrabies, and around the front, that's a row of leeks, and that is a frickin' vole. Oh, you son of a gun. And off he goes. Well, I'll be putting vole traps out, because they will just chew down any stems. They like to eat stems of things. So they do not do good with the flowers I have in the front yard. So wherever he went to. Well, he'll be evicted soon enough. Alright, down along the back. Lots and lots and lots. Lots of grapes are forming. I have some more tomato cages back here. Those are, I don't remember what variety they are. They'll grow and I'll find out. Those are acorn squash. So eventually they'll start spreading across the lawn. And that'll be fine. So more tomatoes, more acorn squash, a couple of weeds. Another great big pile of grapes. These are just a Concord. Oh, little birds. Raspberries. Raspberries are starting to form. So those are fairly tasty right now. So Kira, if you're watching, too bad for you. Ooh, there's some more. Alright, they'll do grand. So Plenty. Oh, that's a good shot on my finger there. Hope you liked it. Lots and lots and lots of raspberries. Then back here we have the hops. Hops are climbing nicely. Strawberries are dying. And just for good measure, we have some potatoes and we have some tomatoes growing in bags temporarily, permanently. And that is about it for today. Bye.